will say good day to each and every one of you this day of your time as you create time to exist. How are you? All right, we thank you very much for the co-creation of this interaction this day of your time between your civilization and ours. Allow us to entitle this interaction in the following way: choices and opportunities. Now, before we get down to the business of the topic at hand, we find that we are overjoyed at having been allowed the opportunity to make a special announcement because of the timing that has occurred in your civilization, because of the timing that has occurred in the acceleration of your transformation. We now find that we are allowed to answer a question that has been asked very often, not only of us, but of many different beings coming through many of the different channels upon your planet at this time. This question that has been asked over the years has, up to this point, not been able to be answered because of the circumstances attached to the consciousness, the entity, the being asked about. But now a change has occurred, a shift has taken place, a very specific one. And so it has opened up to us the ability to now inform you of a great change that has taken place, which will aid and assist in a very unexpected way the acceleration of your world through this transformational threshold. The question that was asked many times before was, whatever happened to Adolf Hitler? We now find that a choice has been made by this entity. But let us backtrack and present with you our perception of the history of the non-physical experiences of this entity after their physical existence as the being you knew as Adolf Hitler. Remember that we have discussed many times that when you physically die, one of the first things that you experience, in a sense, is what is called a life review. And in that life review, you are given the chance, you are given the opportunity, you are allowed the experience automatically of actually feeling, literally feeling everything, every consequence of every act that you have ever done in your life. The actions taken by that individual in your physical reality as the reflection of such a high degree of negativity, and the consequential experience of feeling the consequence of every single act that that individual was responsible for, whether committed actually by that individual or by individuals under his command, was felt by the entity when it became non-physical. The bombardment of the totality of the collective negativity that was felt in the life review of that entity was so overwhelming that it placed that spirit, that consciousness, in what could be called a state of shock and hibernation, to allow that being to go into the very deepest center of the self, to recalibrate and reassess and heal for itself all of the pain, all of the suffering, all of the sorrow, all the negativity, all of the choices and all of the consequences that were attached energetically to that particular entity. Throwing that entity into that state of hibernation and recuperation has taken many years, so that there could be reevaluations and assessments and reparations and atonements in that sense. Balances created within that entity's consciousness, within that entity's energy, over the course of the years that have passed since that entity became non-physical. But now, that entity has emerged from that hibernative state of reparation, of repairing, of realignment, and a choice has been made. In and around your year of 1993, that entity will choose to be born as many different entities. Not just one, but will fragment itself into several different beings, several different children upon your earth. All of these children, now that this entity has gained the strength to do so, will experience lives of extreme hardship, starvation, disease, abuse, Many different things these children will experience over the course of the few years that they will exist in physical reality. They will all die, except for one. One will live to the age of 7, and in the year 2000, this child will be 7 years old. At that time, it will be decided whether or not this child will continue to live as a physical being or will do what needs to be done as a non-physical guide. This child, this being at the age of 7, will pull unto itself the total combined experiences of all the other children that the soul has been, that have died before the year 2000, will draw unto itself the collective experiences of all of that understanding of limitation, understanding of suffering, understanding of negativity. All those experiences it will have had as those suffering children will be drawn unto itself as a child of 7. And in that moment, it will decide whether it wishes to continue to absorb all of those experiences and continue as a physical being, transforming itself into a child of light, or whether it wishes to simply become a guide of light non-physically. But at that point in your year 2000, it will make the decision. There is, in a sense, a little bit, a very little bit, more chance that it will remain physical, and that this child will become, in your new century, one of the greatest helpers and healers of humankind, having rebalanced, realigned, resynchronized itself completely, and gone completely toward the positive end of the spectrum as a reflection of the changes you have all made, of the transformations you have all made, that would now allow it to reclaim its own godhood, to remember its connection to the infinite, and to no longer need to express or reflect to society lack of empowerment, suffering, negativity, or any of these ideas that you will now leave behind in your past. We thank you for having accelerated in your transformation sufficiently to have created the opportunity, to have created the ability for this entity to now be able to choose this path of reintroducing itself into your physiological society in this way. And by experiencing itself as this multitude of children, and experiencing the ideas to some degree of the suffering that it has caused in its past life, to atone itself and realign itself, and to blend itself, to reintegrate itself back into this one child in the year 2000. We thank you for having created the opportunity to reintegrate this reflection of your negativity into your society, to open your hearts and your unconditional love, and to allow yourself and to allow this child to allow you to accelerate at a greatly accelerated rate from your year of 2000 onward, with the help of beings like yourselves, like this child, like your guides, like all the entities who desire for you that you create a world of joy, a world of peace, a world of excitement, a world where you reflect to yourselves the all that is that you are. We thank you for having allowed us the opportunity to share this information with you, and the timeliness in which you have helped to create this experience. And now, allow us to get down to the business at hand of choices and opportunities. We wish to say something now very critical about the concept of opportunities and choices. We have discussed with you many times the concept that as you accelerate, as you choose in your life only those things that excite you, several things begin to happen. We have already discussed the idea that more and more positive synchronicity attracts itself into your reality to bring you the opportunities that you can act upon. We have discussed the idea of the razor's edge, wherein the more you choose the things that excite you, and only those things, then nature, all that is, begins to work with you by being tricky with you, sneaky with you. And from that point forward where you begin to choose only those things that excite you, all that is, or nature, makes it more difficult for you to choose those things that are not the things that excite you, by making sure that any time you do choose something that is not representative of the thing that excites you, that it will fall apart or not work for you. And in that sense, you get the reinforcement of only moving ahead in the direction of choosing the things that excite you the most. We have discussed this before. But now we will discuss a new aspect of this concept of attracting opportunity into your life. For many times we have discussed with you this idea of positive synchronicity, bringing to you obvious opportunities that you can act on, opportunities that are representative of the things that excite you, so that you can act on them, so that you can continue in the direction of the thing that excites you, so that you can allow for more acceleration in that direction. But now you can begin to realize that you will come to another threshold. Some of you may already be at this threshold. Let us discuss this new idea of true mastery, of true self-empowerment. Because after you have allowed your synchronicity to bring to you opportunities that you could act on that are representative of what excites you, something else begins to happen. All of a sudden you may reach another apparent limbo state where you have been going along just fine, automatically, effortlessly creating and attracting opportunities to act on, and all of a sudden they stop. What happened? Where did it go? I am still excited, but I do not seem to be attracting the opportunities anymore for me to act upon. That is because you have reached a new threshold of creation, a new threshold of mastery, and it expresses itself in the following way. Once you have begun attracting whole opportunities, all of a sudden, all that is hands you the kit for creating opportunities out of opportunity components. You are now expected from that point forward to recognize the connection between apparently disconnected or unconnected elements and to put them together to create the opportunity yourself. Not to receive just the opportunity full-blown, already assembled for you to act upon. That will continue to happen, yes. But to recognize the components that make up opportunities and to bring them together to create the opportunity where none previously existed. That's the next step. You must begin to be so active, to rely on your imagination and your creativity so strongly that you allow yourself to see connections, whereas heretofore you have not seen connections. You must now create connections between things that heretofore have not had connections. You must bring component A, component B, component C together. Put them together. Create a connection. Create an opportunity for yourself where none existed before. This is the true next step of mastery. Opportunity creation, not just opportunity attraction. This is what will accelerate you further towards the endeavor of being the person that you wish to be and doing the thing and only the thing that excites you in life. So look with your imagination. See with your mind's eye, with your visualization, all the things that might be spread out before you at any given moment. And when an opportunity does not come full-blown, look at the things that exist in your life and create a connection between those things that will manifest an opportunity for you. Then you will be geometrically expanding and receive tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold, more and more and more of the effects of the opportunities you yourself are now responsible for having created as a creator. Not just a receiver, as a creator. Not just an actor, as a creator of the reality itself, the very raw elements of the reality that you can act upon. So we have talked about seeing the vision, feeling the vision, and acting on the opportunities that the vision brings you. But now we are talking about dealing with the raw elements of creation, to create the opportunity for you to act upon. You can do it. Just again, once again, let your imagination be your guide, and let your guide be your imagination. We thank you for allowing us to also reflect to you this new level, this new threshold that you have collectively arrived at. Since you have collectively arrived there, it is now up to each and every one of you individually to access this new opportunity and to make of it what you will. We thank you, and we ask you in return for the gift that you have given us in allowing us to experience you, I ask you now, in what way may we, on this day, be of service to you? First, sharing.
Hi, this is my first time here.
All right. One moment. Make sure that you speak up and be bold so that all individuals may hear what you have to share. Use your amplification device.
Okay.
Thank you. Proceed. What is it you wish to discuss this day?
Coming into this lifetime, I made a choice to take on a disease in this body, and I want to re-choose.
All right. What is the nature of this dis-ease?
The nature?
Yes. What kind of dis-ease are you referring to?
Neurological, slowly progressive,
All right.
deteriorating.
All right. Over what period of time have you experienced this?
51 years.
All right. What have been the actual physiological effects?
Muscle weakness, imbalance, necessary surgeries.
All right. Have you felt that anything that you have done has assisted you yet in any way, shape, or form, or has it continued to deteriorate? Have you been able to slow down the process, change the process at all, or do you feel that it has not changed one bit?
I don't know what to measure it to.
All right. Then I'll ask you another question. What has having had this disease allowed you to think, feel, and experience about yourself? What have you learned about yourself by having this disease? What have you learned about your desires? What have you learned about your wishes? What have you learned about the things in life that could excite you? What have you learned about who you are and what you wish to be by having had this experience?
To learn and to grow.
What has it forced you to look at? Where has your focus been? Has it been only on the idea of physical health? Or has your condition allowed you to look at things that other people don't necessarily take the time to look at? What have you looked at? Where has your focus been?
Had a lot to do with prioritizing.
Yes. And what is your chief priority?
To be healthy.
To be healthy. And for what purpose?
Oh, no. No.
No, what?
No, that answer is inaccurate.
All right. What is the accurate answer? Take your time.
I think to be important.
To be important. In what way? To whom?
To me and to others.
To you and to others. Important to others in what way?
That perhaps I can teach and guide.
Guide whom? Teach what?
Myself and others. Compassion.
Compassion. In what form of expression? What will you say? How will you teach this? How will you help to heal others, and in healing others, heal yourself? How do you wish to express this compassion, this healing, this sharing? What way excites you? What methodology has your imagination come up with to share what you wish to share about compassion with others? How do you want to go about it? First of all, does it excite you to do this? Does it excite you to think about the idea of teaching compassion to others? Yes or no?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. All right. What is the yes and what is the no?
Teaching is exciting.
Why?
Well, again, it's back to being important. That perhaps I know something that somebody else doesn't know, and that I can be a resource to others.
You can
and
be
to
a
myself.
resource to others.
Yeah.
All right, all right. And why is it not exciting? What's the no?
Well, I think because sometimes for me confusion or compassion gets confused with sympathy or empathy or...
All right. You can have empathy.
Pity.
You can have empathy in your compassion. Sympathy, no. Pity, no. Empathy, yes.
Okay.
Empathizing is simply synchronizing your vibration with another individual so that you can understand them. You can understand their experiences. You can understand what they are going through so that perhaps you can assist them in re-guiding their energy back to the place they wish to be. So empathy can be a tool of teaching, yes. Not sympathy in the sense of reinforcing their misery, not pity in the sense of judging them. But empathy, yes. You understand?
Yes.
Now, you do not have to have sympathy. You do not have to have pity. Does it relieve you to know you do not have to have these things?
Yeah.
All right. You do not have to assume that you must have them in order to do your job. There is no reason for you to buy into the concept of the pity and the sympathy, which after all, in many ways, on many levels, is only your expression of self-pity, self-sympathy. Empathy, yes. Let them empathize with you. You empathize with them. But that's the healthy side of recognition, of identification as, not the unhealthy side. You cannot feel sorry for them, and therefore you cannot feel sorry for yourself. If you wish to teach, teach because what you have chosen in life has given you the opportunity to teach, to share with others your experiences, what you have learned from your experience in life, even if it concerns the concept of dis-ease. Perhaps you have learned that so that you could attract to yourself individuals who are similarly diseased and together, perhaps, heal each other. You in the teaching, in the sharing, them in the learning. But remember, again, that teaching is also learning. Learning is also teaching. This issue of being important can have a negative ego side and a positive ego side. When you recognize that you are already important because you exist, then you need not really attach any further importance on top of that. Whatever it is you have to share as a unique individual must be critical, must be important, or you wouldn't exist. For there are no extraneous creations in existence. Therefore, if you do exist and you have something to do, you have something to say, you have something to share, obviously, by definition, you must be important. You must be critical to the overall picture of all that is. So you can relax on this issue of having to be important because you're already important and you cannot get any more important than you already are. You understand?
Yes.
Relax, therefore, into the service itself that you want to provide, knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that since you're already as important as you could ever possibly be, that whatever it is you have to share with other people will be received on the level that it needs to be received upon. You will attract exactly who you need to attract, and they will receive from you exactly what they need to receive, what they have attracted themselves to you to receive. And you will be doing whatever it is you need to do, and in knowing that, in just knowing that, by fulfilling the thing, by doing the thing that excites you the most, you yourself will not only be healing them in a sense, or allowing them really to heal themselves, but you will be allowing them to heal you, or really, you will be allowing them to allow you to heal yourself in the combined interaction. But you must do the thing that you know you must do. You must follow your excitement. You must give in to your passion. No need for sympathy, no need for pity, either towards them or towards yourself. You are important because you exist. What you have to share is important because it's what you desire to share. It will have impact. It will have effect. If it didn't, you wouldn't want to do it. It wouldn't be your desire. It wouldn't be your passion. It wouldn't be your excitement. It wouldn't exist within you even as the seed of an idea if it were not critical for you to express yourself that way. And in that expression, you can heal yourself. Do you understand?
I think so.
Do you think so? Meaning you are not sure?
That's not exactly the way I expected it to be.
How did you expect it to be?
Well, there would be some process, a venture that I would go about on my own or drawing other resources to me and then sharing that process.
Yes, but I think you are misunderstanding something. When you start moving, when you start acting in the direction of the big picture that excites you, all the details, which are the processes and the opportunities and the encounters and the substances and the remedies and this and that and the other thing that you are referring to, will all automatically be attracted into your life in the right place and the right time, because all those things are the details that flesh out the big picture that you know is the thing that excites you the most, and all those details and processes are subordinate to the big picture, not the other way around. If you move in the direction acting on the thing that excites you at any given moment that is representative of your excitement at that moment that you can act upon, it will automatically lure you into the proper process and circumstances to bring to you the knowledge and the information that you need to heal yourself and to share with others to heal them. You must focus on the big picture by moving in that direction in whatever way you can move in that direction now, without necessarily waiting around for all the pieces of the puzzle to be there. By making the movement in whatever way you can, that's what puts into motion all the pieces to allow them to come together and support the big picture that you have moved in the direction of. Do you understand the mechanism we are describing? You are putting the cart before the horse, as you say in your language. You must turn this around. It is not seeing is believing, it is believing is seeing. Just the opposite of what you normally as a society think.
Change my thoughts.
You must act in a completely different manner. You must act like the person you want to become now in order to become that person. In actuality, in manifestation, in circumstance, in opportunity, in situation. You must see yourself as the person you want to become, and you must act like you see that person acting and do the things you see in your vision that person doing in order to have the vibration of health that that person in your vision has. And thus attract the situations into your life to give that person the knowledge that that person needs to teach it to other people. What was your question?
How do I have my body do something that it is not capable of doing right now, that I want it to do?
You do whatever you can do. You do the most exciting thing you can do at this moment, and that is what will expand you, to give you an opportunity, to attract you to an opportunity to do something more expanded, and to bit by bit build you back up by attracting perhaps you to a situation where somebody will give you something that will help you, either an herbal remedy or an informational source from a book or an exercise or a meditation or this or that or many other things. And by acting on the level of your excitement and whatever you can do now, following that thread of excitement, then by doing that you will attract yourself into the appropriate circumstances that will expand you and in the next moment allow you to do more. And more, and more, and more, and more. Understand?
So this is going to be a step-by-step, piece-by-piece.
It can be, or it can be instantaneous, depending upon the degree your beliefs are willing to allow it to be spontaneous. That's up to you. But if it is a step-by-step process, you can still move in that direction. But the way to move in that direction is to act now in whatever way you have the capacity to act in the direction of whatever it is that is the most exciting thing you could be doing at this moment, and nothing but that thing. That will lead you into the next situation that will make it obvious as to what the next most exciting thing will be. Then when that becomes apparent, do it. And when the next most exciting thing becomes apparent, whether it seems physically connected on the surface to the last thing you did or not, if it feels like the most exciting thing you could do at that moment that you're capable of doing, do it. Without question, without hesitation. Do it with integrity, to the best of your ability, with compassion. Do it.
Okay.
All right? That is what will energize you and rebuild your communication network within yourself, which is, after all, what your nerves represent. You are cut off from communicating with your higher self. All you need to do is start acting like the higher self, and you will re-knit your communication network. Understand?
Yeah.
Action and energy. It is one and the same thing. You are made of energy. act like it, and you will be energized and, in a sense, repaired, healed. Bit at a time or quickly is up to you. But do what excites you, because that vibration that you call excitement is the vibration necessary to heal you. If you're not staying in your excitement, if you're not staying in your passion, if you're not staying in your joy, you are not giving yourself the best possible medication you could ever receive. You're not staying in the frequency of your healthy self.
There's times when I go through periods where I feel like I have to take it real easy and real slow.
That's all right.
That I
am not saying that you be in your
energy.
excitement that you have to jump up and down 24 hours a day.
No, okay.
You can be in your peaceful self, your balanced self, but remain in the direction of the thing that gives you joy. Only. That's your prescription. Stay in that energy. Only. Whether it is experienced by you as a peaceful state or an excited, energized state, doesn't really matter as long as you remain in that frequency, pointing in that direction. And remember, when you say, there are times when I this, there are times when I that, that's past tense. That's the old you. That's not the new you that you will become every single moment. Remember that the old you has nothing to do with the new you except as much as you say it does. So when you say, I have a tendency to do this, I have a tendency to do that, recognize that what you are doing is creating that tendency in the present, when you don't want it to be there anymore. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Does this help you?
I think so.
You're still not sure. Your laughter is a better answer than your words. Your laughter says you are sure what you want, that you are sure you want joy and only joy in your life, that you are sure you only want to do the things that give you joy and compassion in your life. Your laughter says that even when your words do not. Follow your laughter, the things that make you feel lighter and enlightened.
I like that.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your sharing.
Thank you.
You also will have assistance from your guide and from many other sources. Next sharing.
Shivai Bashar.
Shivai! Speak up and be bold.
This is my first time here as well.
Well, this is my first time interacting with you, isn't it?
It is.
All right then. First time for both of us. Thank you.
My question is
Yes.
Regarding Mother Earth.
Mother Earth.
What is the best way we can individually help to heal Mother Earth?
What is
right
the
now?
best way you can individually help to heal Mother Earth? What is the way you as an individual feel best that you can do?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I've worked with environmental groups.
All right.
And
In what way? What does that mean?
doing fundraising and
Yes.
educational work.
You feel like there is something more you wish to do?
I feel like there's something more that needs to be done.
You feel like there is something more you wish to do?
Yes.
What?
Well, I do my best to use environmentally safe products
Yes.
and to not eat foods that are detrimental to the environment.
You have told me what it is you have done. What is it you wish to do?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Where's your imagination in this?
I wish I could find a way to save the rainforest.
I wish I could find a way to save the rainforest. All right? Is that your wish?
Yes.
All right. Your wish is granted. You will now be led to find a way to save the rainforest. Do you understand what synchronicity is?
I think I understand what it is.
I think your answer means no.
I'm not sure of the technical definition of synchronicity.
Thank you very much for your honesty. Synchronicity is what your civilization typically calls coincidence, but which is not accidental. It is the coming together of seemingly unrelated events, and when they come together you realize they do have, in fact, an underlying connection. They are spontaneous coincidences that serve a specific purpose according to your desires, your wishes, or your focuses. They are miracles. They are magic. They are opportunities. Now, the idea is to recognize this. if it is your wish, if it is your desire to find some way to save your rainforests, then the first thing you have to know is this. Your wish, your desire, in and of itself, is a frequency of energy. And if you have the wish, if you have the desire, then you are putting that energy out in your reality. You are giving off that vibration. You follow along?
Yes.
If you're giving off that vibration, then if you don't get in your own way with your assumptions about what you can and cannot do, then you will find that if you are putting that frequency out, automatically and effortlessly you will draw to yourself the opportunities that will be obvious opportunities for you to act on to fulfill your wish. Now, if that is your wish, and you state it boldly, as you have just stated it now, then you can know that you have just sent a message out to the totality of the universe. And in sending that message out, what you have said, I am willing to receive any opportunity that is reflective of what excites me the most, that will allow me to fulfill my wish. So when those opportunities come to you, recognize them through the fact that they are of a vibration that is representative of what excites you the most, and if they are representative of what excites you the most, act on them. Again, they may not seem to be on the surface immediately connected to the issue at hand. That's why you simply have to trust that whatever comes to you that excites you the most, you must act on, whether it seems connected or not. Eventually you will understand how it is all interconnected. But if you act on the opportunity that comes with the most excitement, that is what will be the shortest path to the fulfillment of your wish. You understand?
Yes.
Does that clarify the mechanism for you now?
Yes.
Are you willing to act upon the first thing that comes along that is the most exciting thing you are capable of acting on, knowing that because it is the most exciting thing, it therefore by definition must be connected to your wish fulfillment?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are you willing to allow it to be that simple?
Yes.
Are you willing to act on these opportunities that come to you boldly, to the best of your ability, to the fullest of your expression as the being you know yourself to be?
Yes.
Then you will save the rainforest. You understand?
Yes.
And so will anyone else who has the same wish, who acts in exactly the same way I have just outlined, along with you. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Say hello to the forests for us. Next sharing.
Xing Xing Au, Bashar.
If you say so. Shibai to you.
Shibai.
Speak up and be bold.
Okay. Last time I talked about mosquitoes and dolphins.
All right.
This time I want to talk about cockroaches and dolphins. But before I get to that, I wanted to ask you about...
All right, but keep this brief.
All right, real quick. I heard your Japan session on healing the world, and I'm in mid-process right now of...
Mid-process?
Mid-process of...
Really?
Staying up at night and sleeping in the afternoon.
All right.
What are your recommendations?
Mid-process, yes.
Yeah. I find there's a lot of inertia to want to sleep at night.
All right.
So I'm working through that process right
All
now.
right. A lot of it, again, will depend on how much you are actually doing in your life the things that really excite you. Because those things will energize you.
Right.
And will automatically allow you to fall into step with your normal biological rhythm. Now, we are not saying necessarily that every single individual on your planet will absolutely, to the minute, fall asleep between 2 and 4 in the afternoon and remain awake all night long. There is some fluctuation in this depending upon the individual that you are. You don't have to take it absolutely literally.
There's a lot more exciting things to do in the afternoon than in the early morning.
Then there is your focus. And that's why you are doing what you're doing the way you're doing it.
Right.
This will shift again only if doing the thing that excites you the most is something that can occur according to a time frame that has to do with staying awake at night. But again, you will find, as you do the thing that excites you the most more often, less need for the idea you call sleep in general.
Right.
How that works itself out over your day of 24 hours is up to you.
Right.
But again, do continue.
And, well, my question on that subject was,
Yes.
you talked about that our society doesn't know much about enzymatic encoding.
Yes.
And I was wondering the relation of masticating your food, chewing your food well,
Yes.
and the enzymatic process.
All right. As you create what might be called a breaking down of the ingested substances. The very act of breaking it down into an absorbable format releases certain enzymes throughout your system that encode your system with the understanding that you are now being sustained as a process. You can find that there is a little trick that you can do as you're going through the day. If you find, as an individual, that you are creating a reality where you are eating more than you really desire to eat, if you simply go through the day while you are doing something you love to do, and as you chew, make a chewing motion as you're doing that thing, you will begin to equate the chewing motion with the doing of the thing that you love to do, and it will release into your body the same enzymatic encoding that tells the body it is being sustained. It will begin to derive sustenance from the doing of that act rather than from the actual physical ingestion of food stuff. A little bit more than usual. Not saying that you will not need to ingest foodstuffs, but you will need to ingest less if you use the same enzymatic coding format that you use while you are actually chewing your food to chew on the things that you are doing in that sense. Understand?
Yeah.
That is one way you can see a connection.
Okay. Some more processes to break down. Thank you. And I was wondering, as far as cockroaches are concerned,
yes,
is it within integrity to terminate their physiological existence?
Not ultimately, not really. The idea would be, again, to learn to work with whatever is in your environment so that everything works together harmoniously and synchronistically. So that you are where you need to be, so they are where they need to be, so that you recognize what each other is providing for the total environment, so that you are always in the right place at the right time, so that you never have to create conflictive encounters between yourselves in that sense.
Okay. What type of energy is sustaining the parasites and the cockroach type?
Mostly that you, as a human species, are parasitic on each other. When you change your energy as a human species, you will begin to see changes take place in all of the animal species on your earth because they are mostly reflecting your parasitic and predatory nature. The idea of your lion lying down with your lamb is a direct symbolic archetypal indication of when you yourself have tamed the war and the conflict and the predation within your own energies. And then this will be reflected throughout all of nature, including the cockroaches.
Bye.
You understand?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That leads me to the dolphin question.
Yes.
You said that there are enclaves of dolphins that gather like we're gathering here,
yes,
and you channel through one of the dolphins?
Yes.
What type of service are they doing as far as the Orion energy of separation on the planet? Do they have questions, like we have a fear of the collective whole, we have a fear of lack of abundance. Do they ask questions, and what type of
yes,
things are they dealing with?
When are you going to stop dumping things in the ocean that don't belong there, is one of their questions. However, they do not really have the same fear ideas that your human species does because they have not segregated themselves in quite the same way. But they are assistive to each and every one of you in your dream state. They do fear your nightmares because in becoming intertwined with your dream states to help you learn how to play, sometimes they can become caught up in your own fears, the fears that express themselves as the monsters in your nightmares, and they have a little bit of fear of getting a little bit too caught up in your nightmare state, even as they integrate with you and interact with you in your dreams. But they are willing to go through it, to go for the ride, if they feel that it will help you release some of those fears for yourself. But there have actually been a few cases, not many cases, but a few cases of dolphins that have gone insane because of dealing with human nightmares.
They have a question-answer format like we do here?
Not exactly in the same manner, no. It is more of a construction format of building new concepts, building new ideas, seeking new directions for realities to be created in. It is more of an exploration than a question-answer format per se.
Do they have any lack of integrity within their community, amongst themselves?
Very, very rarely, where they may still be playing out certain reincarnational dramas, but it does not occur very often in their society, especially not now. We thank you for your question.
Shiva.
Shiva. Next, sharing.
Good day, Bashar.
And good day to you.
This is my first time, and I wish that it not be my last time.
This is our first time, and no matter how many times we interact, it will always be the first time. Therefore, there will never be a last time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wish to share an experience that's happened to me this last month.
All right.
I've been living with my grandparents for approximately 10 years.
All right.
And my grandfather's physical body ceased to exist in 1989.
All right.
And my grandmother's physical body ceased to exist approximately 2.5 weeks ago.
All right.
About 2 hours before she stopped functioning, she cried out for her husband to come and help her.
Yes.
And I believe she was asking for a guide to come and take her out of this body that she had cancer and was in great pain.
Yes.
And when she was asking for him, she didn't acknowledge anybody else in the room. And approximately 2 hours later, when she ceased to function, there was like a lot of light in her general area.
Yes.
And
sometimes when individuals will extend themselves beyond the physical form, and the guides that are there to receive them, to help them make the transition, sometimes they will, in a sense, to use your colloquial space-time terminology, they will remain in proximity to the physical body. If there is enough of a concentration of their energy, of their consciousness, of the many different guides and the person who has made the transition in the locale of the physical body, sometimes it is possible, as in this case, as you have described, for people in the physical reality to see the energy because there is a concentration of it in one locale.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes. After passing,
yes.
when we had the memorial for her on a Saturday,
yes.
I felt afterwards that like you were discussing earlier, I crossed the threshold. My being was open, and I met my soulmate currently.
All right.
Whom I'm in love with deeply.
All right. Thank you very much.
And she's the one that started me on you. And it's just been very interesting from the beginning, which was about 2 weeks ago yesterday.
All right. It will always be interesting forever.
That's my desire.
Then it is your reality.
And I am creating my own opportunities, as you spoke of earlier also.
Okay.
And happiness fills my life now, being with her and imagining and imagining where we will be further on in our lives.
By the way, the woman that passed, as you say, over, attended the memorial service in a red dress. Do you understand?
No, I don't.
The grandmother, as you say, the grandfather, as you say, non-physically attended her memorial service. She chose to appear as if wearing a red dress.
Red was her favorite color.
Yes. He remained in formal attire for the occasion, black tie, as a symbol of the expression that they now can move to a different level altogether and share a different kind of life altogether. But they were there in attendance and simply wish you to know.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have one question.
All right.
When we pass from this physical body and we are guided to a higher dimension, are we greeted by somebody that we have loved in the past, or
very often
somebody that we've known?
Very often. Not always, but very often.
So they're recognizable to us?
Even if it is not actually literally the same soul, very often they will make themselves look as if they are someone that you recognize to put you at ease. Then this may change later. But very often, in a sense, as you intend to mean this, very often it is actually someone you have interacted with before,
and therefore they will be recognizable to you.
So we're comfortable
Yes.
traveling to the next dimension.
Yes.
I wish you a good life, Bashar.
I have one. Thank you very much. Thank you for your wish, for your wish will always come true with us. Next sharing.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
This is Henrietta.
All right.
Bashar, I talked to you a bit ago, several months.
Speak up, be bold so that all may hear.
Okay. And you asked me to practice breathing with you.
Yes.
And I've been holding my breath for more or less 40 years, something like
all right.
that.
Are your lungs tired now?
No, they're very happy.
Oh, all right.
It changed my breathing
Yes.
so that I have a new habit now of breathing even when I'm worried, even when I'm scared. My body has one.
All right. You are finding your center. Very good.
And I think one of the consequences of that is that I'm feeling a bigger self. I'm feeling a much higher, bigger self.
Yes, you are expanding. Yes.
And I love it.
Yes. You are worth loving.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And I want to do more of it.
Well, go right ahead. Expand until you pop. And then you will continue to expand in a different way. Is there anything else you have to share?
Yes, I have a question.
All right.
My question is, what more can I do to keep on expanding until I pop?
But you already know the answer to this. What is the answer? Answer from your expanded self.
It feels like love is what it feels like.
Yes, of course, because you are tapping into the primal energy of all that is, which is unconditional love. But what is it that you can do to use that energy? As we have discussed many times. Answer from your expanded self.
I can keep on following the thread of what excites me.
Yes. Will you?
I will, but I'm awfully afraid, Bashar.
That's
I
all
still
right.
see that blocking me. I keep trying, and I
See
sometimes
what's
do
blocking
it.
you? What's blocking
Fear.
you? Fear of what? Fear of what?
I think my bigger self has no fear, but my smaller self has a fear of, I think, of non-existence.
Non-existence.
And I know you've said I can't non-exist if I exist now.
But you still think it's possible, yes?
My little self does, yeah.
Your little self.
My big self doesn't. I know it. I can get in touch with that. But my little self
All
thinks,
right.
if
All
I do
right.
this thing, the next thing that'll happen is I'll be squashed or stomped. or something
Squash.
Like that. Yeah,
You mean
squashed.
like the cockroach?
Exactly, like the cockroach.
See how afraid cockroaches are of you? Now you have something to relate to in that sense. Allow your bigger self to hold you in its proverbial arms, to take you under its proverbial wing, to let you know you cannot in any way, shape, or form be separated from the bigger self. Smaller self is just a terminology. It's just a focus. That's all. Smaller self is simply another way of saying, I'm looking at a chair in the room instead of looking at the whole room. So what? No real difference here. Just a matter of focus. No intrinsic foundational difference. You are the bigger self. If you feel like a smaller self, then you are the bigger self pretending to be the smaller self. The smaller self is not actually literally a separate part. You are a total being, no matter what you're pretending to be. So if you feel like a smaller self, it's you as the bigger self, pretending to be a smaller self.
My bigger self feels that its only goal here is to love.
Yes.
My smaller self, and I think I understand and believe even at this time that they are integrated, but there is another belief that there is like busy work that I need to do.
Busy work.
Yeah, little stuff I need to do. And
Like
if
what?
I'm-
Like what? Like what? Sewing buttons back on shirts?
Yeah, and right now I'm terrified about job situations, working situations.
But what is
and
it you wish to
buttons
do?
and-
What is it you wish to do?
I really wish to be.
What is it that
Very
you are
free.
terrified of doing?
What I want to do is
Yes.
just do what I want to do
Which
minute
is?
by minute.
Yes,
I don't
minute by
know
minute.
what
All
it
right,
is.
all right,
Each minute it would come to me what I want to do the next minute. I don't know.
all right. And you feel that this is not something that you can do. You feel the bigger self could do it, but the smaller self can't.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Oh,
All right. That's fair. That's honest. That's admitting how you feel. And that's all right. One moment. One moment. One moment. What is the most exciting thing that you can think of to do right now?
be here. I like talking to you. Right this minute, this is it.
All right? And if I were to right now end this conversation, then what would you do?
Then I'd walk around and I'd talk to people.
All right. How do you know that? That hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
I haven't
that's
ended the
true.
conversation yet. So how do you know what's going to be the most exciting thing that you would want to do when this conversation ends?
I'm just imagining it.
All right. However, really being in the moment is not necessarily projecting in that way. It is really allowing yourself to find out in that moment, when the conversation is over, what it is that you will really feel like doing. Not supposing. You may have a good idea with your imagination what might be the most likely thing. But at the same time, you can allow yourself also to simply let it go and trust that in that moment, whatever will be the most exciting thing will obviously make itself apparent to you, will it not?
Yes.
That is obvious, isn't it?
Yes. It is obvious.
It is obvious, yes. So where's the fear? If it's that obvious to you that at any given moment, the thing that really would be the most exciting thing is going to make itself obviously apparent to you, then where's the fear coming from? What place, what time does the fear have to exist in? The only place the fear is coming from is when you are projecting from the present into some imaginary future, projecting in the present from some imaginary past, not actually being in the present. The fear is not coming from the concept of the present, it is coming from the concept of the future or the past in the present. But if you simply allow yourself to relax into the present and just allow whatever needs to happen to be obvious in the present, then fear will have no room, because you will not be creating it to come from the apparent future or from the apparent past. You understand what I am saying?
Yes, I do.
Does this allow you to feel different about the concept?
Yes. It feels like walls that I've created are disappearing from inside my body.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You are the bigger self. You are the total self. Even if you wish to pretend that you are the smaller self, these are not two separate things. It is not a matter of the bigger self and the smaller self being connected. They are one and the same. They are you. You playing the big self. You playing the small self. You playing the fearful self. These are all roles that you are playing on the stage of your existence. That's all. Just roles. They are just a script. Pages in its script. If you don't like the script, if there is fear in the script, say, this part is not right for me. Where's my agent? Oh, I'm my agent. Agent? Find me another script. Create me another script. Oh, yeah, I'm the writer too. All right, I'll write another script. Oh, yes, I'm the director. I'm the producer. I'm the cinematographer. I am the film. I am the whole picture. The big picture. I am the whole idea. What you want that whole idea to be is what it will be at any given moment. Even if you choose at any moment to have fear in your script, it's just a line of dialogue. Rewrite it. You are all the players, behind the camera, in front of the camera, everywhere. How does that make you feel?
Very happy.
Do you have a propensity for acting?
Not that I know of so far.
Is it something that attracts you in any way, shape, or form?
I've always been afraid of it.
You've always been afraid of it?
Yes, very.
Yes. Then it's definitely the thing you ought to do. You are absolutely right for the part. Since you are also the casting director.
Well,
let your synchronicity open up for you. Take those opportunities, act on them. It will really, I guarantee, especially in what you have created your life to be, it will really make a big difference if you simply move in that direction. Play with it a little bit. Just play with it. Play with the acting, see where it leads. It's all right to be afraid. You can use the fear to enrich your acting. Boy, is she ever believable. She's acting afraid, and boy, do I believe her. You can use it. Use the energy. Convert the energy. Transform the energy of fear into the different parts that you can be. Learn how to do that, and you will be an invincible actress. All right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bashar.
Next sharing.
Good day, Bashar.
And good day to you.
My name is Amy,
All
first of
right.
all.
Thank you for establishing that.
And I would like to know if emotions are reactions to beliefs. What do beliefs play in telepathy? What part do they play in telepathy?
A very strong part.
And how? In what way?
They guide, in a sense, the vibration that you would be most attracted to, that would be most aligned with your emotions. They are, in a sense, like the guiding track, the guiding beacon. They set the foundational stage for what kind of telepathic occurrences you are most likely to have, which are then reinforced by the alignment of your emotionality, which reinforce the belief systems and create a closed loop to create and manifest a reality that is then reflective of the original belief, the reinforcing emotion, and the thought pattern manifestation. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer the question specifically enough?
Yes, it does. And then our thought patterns, they're more related to telepathic communication versus, emotional telepathy. Is that correct?
There is, in a sense, an aspect of thought patterns that are expressed in the electromagnetic field of your planet. Telepathic linkage does occur to some degree within those electromagnetic fields, but it is more for the purpose of creating actual structural alignments within the magnetic field that can then actually begin to coalesce and manifest as your physical materialized reality.
And beliefs would also play a part in telepathic communication and the electrical, magnetic...
Well, again, beliefs are more foundational. Beliefs set the stage.
Okay.
You understand?
Uh-huh.
Emotions, in that sense, are the script that gets acted out, the concept. And the thought patterns are the actors and the audience. So belief is the foundation that allows the play to go on. Emotions are the concepts, the messages being delivered, the reason for the play's existence. Thought patterns are the actors on the stage and the audience listening to what is being said and reinforcing what the actors are saying. You understand the analogy?
Yes, I do.
Does that help?
Yes, that does.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes. And then I would like to know why I chose to be born on the fall of Atlantis.
On the what?
The fall of Atlantis, October 31st. Halloween. Halloween.
Yes. Understood. The anniversary.
Uh-huh.
Not the actual fall. The anniversary.
The anniversary.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
One moment. There is a lot of data here. Give us a moment. We are sifting and scanning through one particular chart, so to speak. How do you feel about mistletoe?
Mistletoe?
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing.
Why?
Because it deals with rebirth in
Yes.
a way, and Christmas time, and kissing,
Yes.
and emotion.
Yes.
So,
And you love to play in that energy, yes?
uh-huh.
You are very cherubic in that sense, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes, I believe so, yes. One moment. I am playing with you a little bit because there is a lot of play in this chart. That sprig, the sprig of mistletoe, is very, very strong as a symbol for you, especially from Celtic times. Is a direct tie-in to Atlantean existences for you. One moment. You are quite a joker, quite a punster throughout many of your lives. Quite a court jester. One moment. It is because you have the ability to lighten up a situation. By anchoring yourself to the date of the fall of Atlantis, you firmly fix yourself in energy to an ability to allow that energy to rise again through levity, through enlightenment, through a lightening of the energy, to act as a safety valve, the release of energy in a positive way rather than the build-up and the collapse and the destruction this time. You are very connected to the idea of natural healing in the earth. Again, the sprig of mistletoe is a very strong wand for you. Almost like a lightning rod to gather and attract the spiritual energies, the archetypal spiritual entities and energies that you can direct cherubically, outwardly from yourself in laughter, in bells, in song, in light. They're a very light energy in this sense. Always allowing the long faces that wear the seat of power, the burden, the mantle of power over the ages, to forget their cares and forget their troubles and lighten up a bit, and allow them to remember that they are children too. Children were very important to you in Atlantean times. Children were very important to you in Celtic times. Children in many ways are very important to your energy now, and you yourself are very childlike in that sense. Especially the idea of Halloween, when it is a lot of fun to play with the dark side in a very childlike way, to know that you are free to balance both the light and the dark in such a way that no negativity, no harm will come of it. But it is a release and an expression and an admission that you are all expressing the light and the dark within you. And it can be done in creative and playful ways. No need to use it for destruction anymore. Only upliftment now. Only the rising of Atlantis within you. Of its true self, the creation of a future Atlantis, the future energy, the idealized state that it was archetypally meant to be and which will live again on your planet freely. You're also very connected through the dolphin energy, Sirius energy in that sense to some degree, although peripherally, tangentially, and through the concept of bubbles. Bubbles are also another strong symbol in that sense. One moment. You have quite an ability to be abundant. Quite an ability to be abundant through the sharing of stories, of children's stories in that sense. Dealing with children, dealing with people as if you were telling them stories like they were children. You have quite an ability to do this. Again, the court jester telling tales to lighten up the whole court. Does this answer your question?
Yes, it does. And then, but what kind of a symbol are bubbles? You said that they're so important.
Well, how do bubbles allow you to feel?
Very light.
Yes.
Okay.
And they just pop with enthusiasm. And
Okay.
release their secrets and their sweet scented perfume and aroma and flower-like energy into the atmosphere of reality, blending together, allowing you to laugh and be tickled and to share your joy effervescently through the whole of your reality.
Okay.
And in the sense as you understand it with regard to abundance, not that we are necessarily saying that you have to go out and become intoxicated, but through the archetypal symbol of what you call champagne, the idea of the symbol of abundance. You understand?
Yes, I do.
Does this help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
And I just would like to ask one more quick question, and that is regarding the idea of being in the desert area on October 17th. Is there a special idea behind that?
We have already allowed many individuals to know that, magnetically speaking, October 17th will be a very strong format time to be in several of the desert regions around your western and southwestern United States, where there will be much activity interdimensionally in the vortices there. You will be drawn to where you need to be drawn to if that is something that excites you. All right?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you also.
You may all at this time take a short break. We will resume contact in approximately 10 to 15 minutes of your counting. How's it going?
All right, don't say continue. We're sharing.
Hello, Bashar. It's nice to meet you.
And good day to you. A pleasure to interact with any or all of you. What is it you wish to discuss?
I would like to discuss a troubled relationship that I'm in.
Trouble, all right. Proceed.
I'm in a relationship with a woman. We have been on again, off again for several years. We've been living together for about the last year and a half, and it seems to have gotten to a threshold where at least a physical separation again seems inevitable.
All right.
The paradox seems to be that we both love each other, but on a day in and day out level, we can't seem to really connect with each other in a way that's mutually empowering.
Thank you very much. There really is no paradox about this at all. However, we understand how there can seem to be one. And of course, you are always, each and every one of you, most successful in allowing yourselves to create the reality that you desire when you dissolve or collapse the paradox by dealing with it from the center of yourself. Very often when you deal with an apparent paradox, that is your clue that you're very close to the threshold of being able to resolve the situation for yourself if only you bring the apparent dichotomies into the center of your being and look at how they blend within the center of yourself, since they both sides of the issue, that is, issue from the center of yourself to begin with anyway. That aside, let us discuss this idea of relationship specifically. The notion that you love each other deeply doesn't in any way, shape, or form mean, in and of itself, how the relationship ought to be played out. The notion that you love each other deeply simply means that you have brought yourselves together in a relationship to reflect to each other whatever it is you need to learn about yourselves from each other within the relationship. The fact that you are drawn into relationships through love is simply the mechanism that gets you in there to allow you to be open to whatever it is you need to learn about yourself in order to choose from what you learn in the relationship the reality that you really prefer for yourself. Now, sometimes the reality that you recognize yourself to be doesn't necessarily synchronize in all the details with the reality that the other person in the relationship needs for themselves. That doesn't mean that there is no love in the relationship, just because it may not flow in the expected direction or the direction you have been taught to expect it must flow in. Love is still there because love is still bringing you together so you can learn what you need to learn. And sometimes what you may need to learn is simply that your vibration and their vibration are not necessarily synchronized in the way that will allow you to remain interacting in the way that you think, but may choose other ways to interact by being more yourself in a certain direction, by allowing that other individual to be more themselves in a certain direction. By being true to yourself is paradoxically, as you say, the way to stay, quote unquote, in the relationship. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you will actually physically stay together. You understand what we are saying so far?
Very well, thank you. Yes.
The idea is to really be true to who you really are, to allow yourself to grow and learn what it is you really want, what your life should really be for you and for the other person as well. Because if you're not being true to yourself, if you're not really being who you are, if they're not being true to themselves and being who they really are and having the life they really want, then you're not in a relationship with each other anyway. You're in a relationship with someone you think they are. They are in a relationship with someone they think you are. But if it's not the real you, then you're not trusting that the true you, whoever that may be, and the true other person, whoever they may be, you're not trusting that the true you has a real relationship unto itself. Whatever the definition of that relationship may be, you won't find out what it is until you allow yourselves to be the true you that you each need to be. You follow all?
Yes, I do.
Does this help you?
A lot.
Is it clear enough, or is there some other aspect of this you feel needs clarifying or discussing before you feel you have what you need?
Well, the implication of what you're saying in the specifics of my situation sound to me like if we don't feel like we can truly be who we are in what we consider to be the form of the relationship that we've been taught, as you put it, I think, then what we should be about is creating a relationship in which we can be the best of who we can be, whatever that relationship looks like. Is that an accurate reflection?
In a sense, yes. What we are more specifically saying is that you should be on and about creating the relationship that you need to be with yourself, that you need to express yourself as. And if for some reason that means that you cannot physically be with that person, then that's what it means. But it really will not matter to either of you, because if you're being your true self, you're going to attract whatever people need to be in a relationship with you, and they will feel like the right people, and you won't really care who it is, because it will feel correct. However, again, paradoxically, when you each allow yourselves to be the real people you need to be, then there really is no reason why you can't continue to interact with each other throughout your life in some way, shape, or form, because you're being honest with each other about who it is you each need to be, and therefore there's no fear, there's no threat, there's no arguing, there's no conflict between you, because you can still love each other for who you are, you can love the relationship for whatever form it takes, and you can communicate with each other because you know that you are helping each other really be who you need to be, even if that means helping you be with someone else, if that's who you need to be with in a specific way. That's unconditional love. Does that help clarify the issue further?
Yes, very much.
Does that answer your question sufficiently?
Yes, it does.
Well, thank you very much for sharing this aspect of your being with us.
Can I ask you one other question?
Oh, all right.
Due in large part to an empowerment by a previous tape of yours, I engaged in a project which seems stuck right now. And
what is the nature of this project?
This is a project that you've heard mentioned before. It's called a Heart Center Retreat.
All right. And how and what way do you feel?
People are not signing up to come.
To come to what?
To the Heart Center Retreat.
Is the Heart Center Retreat really everything you really desire it to be?
No.
How and in what way do you feel it is lacking, being what it needs to be?
I think a certain flow and loving communication between the principal players is off right now.
All right. Are you, as this may be is this a shared vision or your own vision?
This is my own vision.
Are you in the driver's seat?
Yes.
All right. There you must remain. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have individuals helping and assisting and working with you. Doesn't mean that this is a control issue or an ego issue. But you must remain true to your vision by remaining in the driver's seat and directing it. And if it's not the way you feel it needs to be, then that vibration is going to filter down through every single aspect of your vision. And if it's not on target, on key, then many aspects of it are not going to be allowed to work. You understand?
Yes.
You must clarify the things you feel need clarification. You must be bold about putting out there what needs to be put out there, and you must make sure that you are communicating to those individuals who might want to be attracted to it everything that you really want it to be. It must be in exactly the right place, where you want it to be. It must be exactly what you want it to be, so you can, when communicating it to other people, allow other people to know that you believe totally that it is where it needs to be, that it will serve, that it is something that excites you. If it is not what you want it to be, you're not going to deliver the message that it exists, and you won't attract the people to it. Because they will know, they will sense from you that it's not complete, it's not what it needs to be. It will not serve them. You understand?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yes.
Now, how close, if you wanted to give it some sort of percentage measurement, how close do you feel it is to being what you really want it to be?
Oh, it's close, but it's not where it needs to be. There's definitely something off about it.
Is it 95%?
75.
Oh, well, you have a little bit farther to go then, don't you?
Yes.
You wouldn't want to give them a 75% vision, and they don't want to pay for a 75% vision. Understand?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. 100%. Nick Cherry.
Hi, I'm Cassandra Christensen.
All right, good day to you.
Good day to you. For a long time, I've wanted to make a video or a documentary to help people through the dying process.
Oh, all right.
So
Very exciting.
Yes, it is. And until this weekend, I didn't have anyone that would be willing to share that experience with a camera.
And now?
I have a very, very special man who's willing to do that.
All
In
right.
fact, I have two.
All right.
And maybe a third.
All right.
So I was thinking something like the story of 4 men's lives at death.
All right. Very powerful tool it can be.
The thing is I want the top video equipment.
Yes.
And now that I have a filmmaker, I'm not sure he's the right one in that I want someone who really knows what they're doing. Like I was thinking of John Borman or somebody that's really
Have you
fabulous.
gone and shared this idea with the people that you want to do it with?
Oh, the men, definitely, they want to do it. They're ready. They're dying soon, imminently.
That is not what I am asking you, and you know that's not what I'm asking.
No, I haven't. I haven't shared it with the men I want to do it with. You mean the ones I want to produce it with?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Well then, what are you waiting for?
I'll do it tomorrow.
Thank you.
You got any other ideas on that? How to? All
Be
right.
genuine. Let them see your compassion.
Okay.
Let them understand it is your vision. Entice them into it by getting them excited about it, and let yourself be attracted to exactly the proper people that you need to deal with that are representative of the vibration of your vision. Do not put expectations upon it that it must be this person or it must be that one. You will wind up with exactly the appropriate person if you simply put the vibration out there and trust that you will be led to exactly who and what and where you need to be led to.
Okay.
But you must take action in that direction.
I will do that
by
tomorrow.
communicating with the individuals that you are already aware that do exist that could help you. All right?
All right. Now, yesterday when I came down from this man's home,
Yes.
underneath a Hollywood sign, there was a dead deer, a doe, that had just been killed on the side of the...
All right.
I thought maybe that was a soul. Or,
What did you learn from the doe?
well, she was in a dream of mine once and said that, gave me 3 symbols, a circle, a cross, and a tree, and said, keep these all of your life.
And how do you wish to use these symbols in your work?
Oh, God. Well, it seems like whenever I see these symbols, it always means here's something important. I suppose being the cross is being solid and grounded, and the circle is the continuum of life, and the tree is a symbol of all of our life, our totality, reaching up and sinking our roots into the earth.
Do you feel that as you describe it?
Kind of.
Kind of. Kind of.
It's a lucky guess kind of feeling. It's just, I don't really have a connection with it. It was a very powerful dream, but I don't have a real connection with what it could mean other than what I just said.
All right. One moment. When you think about the dough itself, how does that make you feel?
Badly. She was so vulnerable. A very sweet symbol. She melted into the sidewalk. It was to see this wild thing that had just died.
All right. That's one side of the story. What about the power side of vulnerability, of being open to the unknown in that sense, knowing that it can only be more of yourself? What about that as a symbol for the transition itself? The idea of open arms, of vulnerability, but in the powerful sense, not the negative sense.
Yeah, the only way to do this is to be totally vulnerable.
Yes.
Totally like melting into the sidewalk.
Yes.
There's great power in that.
Melting into the power, the totality, the light of yourself.
Yes.
Do you thank that dough for doing you such a service?
I thank that dough for doing me that service.
Do you love, with all your heart, that animal?
Yes.
Do you know that that animal loves you?
Yes.
With all her being?
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel?
Deep. Soft. Painful.
Why painful?
There seems to be some sadness about it.
Do you feel that you have lost something? Or do you feel that you have gained?
I feel like I've gained incredibly and I've lost something.
What do you feel you have lost?
Oh, it's not real joyful. I mean, I have some incredibly joyful experiences, but in general, I don't go out and play.
What do you feel you have lost?
The hope of playing, the hope of passion in relationship to man-woman kind of passion.
Why do you feel that that does not exist for you?
Because what I've chosen is very extensive. It's very inclusive, the work that I do.
Yes, and so why should there not be a reality, no matter what its definition, that would include everything that you desire? Why should there not be an overall, all-encompassing definition that would bring to you everything that you want? Why should you feel one part should be left out?
I'd like that. I would like that.
Do you believe it?
Well, it didn't seem like it was possible, but the more I open up to my higher self, the more it seems like it might be possible to do everything.
All right, then. You have lost nothing.
No, that's true.
You will only gain. And this understanding and this emotional experience will help you in helping the individuals who are dying. This understanding, this key, this pivot point is one of the things that you yourself must process and must integrate within you so that you can also help them in their transition. Nothing is lost. Nothing.
About 2 weeks ago when I started the training for volunteers to help people through the dying process, at 4 o'clock in the morning I was sitting on the steps outside my house waiting for somebody, and I saw 2 coyotes, one with a huge dead cat in his mouth. And the cat I'd seen a lot the past week sitting in the middle of the street, sitting beside me.
Yes.
Well, I just thought it was an incredible image and that there was something message for me, since the coyote is the trickster.
Yes. In that sense, realize that you are developing the seeds within yourself now of acting as someone who actually facilitates, as you know, the passage of people from one dimension to another with their eyes open.
Yes.
Going into death with their eyes open.
Yes.
Going into death with their eyes open. You'll find that the power of the trickster is to get you to look at the true self, to acknowledge the true self, all aspects of it, in power, not in segregation, not in separation, not in loss, but in true power. You have much, much, much that you can do, much that you will do. You have only begun. You are right at the threshold, right at the beginning. In this sense, a fledgling, truly. But you can grow quite a bit in power in a very natural way in assisting individuals to transform from one dimension to another.
Even somebody who's well and wants to commit suicide?
understand that an individual who is centered within themselves, that no longer wishes to be physical, will simply be able to leave. Suicide in that sense, as you understand in your society, is generally not a sign of wellness. If they wish to leave, and they are centered within themselves, and they truly know they have no purpose in being any longer upon your planet, they will be able to leave without the idea you understand as suicide. They will simply leave. It will either be through what you may call, in some cases, an automatic, quote-unquote, accident that kills them instantly, or simply they will lay down, close their eyes, and leave. If they are in anxiety about the idea of whether or not to kill themselves, generally that is an indication that there is still something they haven't dealt with, and all the more reason for them to stick around. You understand the difference?
I do, totally.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does.
One moment. There is going to be some very powerful communication for you, once again, in your dreams. Be open to it. Do not be afraid. It may seem dark. It may seem fearful. But it is exactly the shadow you need to walk into to really gain your power and to really be able to help others by you becoming the person you need to become that can really help in the transition from one dimension to another. This responsibility must be integrated within you fully, and it can be. And the dreams and the guides can help you, even as they have already begun to help you through the doe, through the coyote, through the cat, through the dream, through the symbols, through the attraction of these individuals who are dying, and everything else that you will need. You have all the tools. All the tools are there. You simply need to be open to receive them. They will be there. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sharing.
Hi.
And who you today?
Good day, Bashar. I was wondering if you would just share and just talk a little bit about visions. I've heard a lot about it in the 1 through 579, and it seems that all the questions that come to my mind, really, that's the bottom line.
Vision.
Mm-hmm.
Your own personal vision. The thing that gives you excitement, you mean?
I think, well, I know there's a connection between a blockage in my third eye or some sort of higher self blockage that's manifesting as
higher
loss
self
of vision.
blockage?
Well, or something that I'm not looking at, something's not clear, and I've been thinking about. I'm totally following my excitement 100%. I'm in bliss 23 hours and 59 minutes a day, and the rest I'm just taking a breath, because that gets a little monotonous. So it doesn't. But
what do you feel is the blockage to your vision? What do you feel you are being prevented from seeing? I'll put it that way.
It's something very obvious. I can't put my finger on it. It has something to do with my childhood.
Something to do with your childhood that you think is doing what to you? Preventing you from doing
I
what?
don't want to look at it or something. I don't know. And it's...
All right.
Well, I've been trying to go about it another way by...
All right. Have you asked for the assistance of what might be called a therapist?
A what?
Therapist.
No.
Have you asked for the assistance of what might be called a hypnotherapist?
No.
Why not?
I've been not attracting that way to go about it. I've asked the universe for help.
Yes.
I've asked nature.
Yes.
I've asked people that I run into, but
yes.
not in that direction. And
yes. What about yourself? Have you asked yourself?
Yeah.
You have?
All the time.
All the time.
Very frequently.
All right. Would you do me a favor?
Of course.
You don't have to. Are you sure you want to?
Yeah.
I don't want you to be afraid.
I love to do favors.
All right. You love to do favors.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Come on this side of the channel. Sit down on the ground, cross your legs, and relax in a meditative position. Just stay there for a moment, all right? Allow yourself to just breathe and drift, daydream. But daydream with your heart. Let your heart slowly, slowly, slowly open up, become warm, just soften and melt, and let it go coursing through the entire time track of your life, all the way back to your birth, all the way ahead to your death, whatever it might be. You don't have to see the specifics. Just open to the entire time track. Let yourself imagine this for a moment. Just be in your heart and let the images come as they may. All right? Just take a few moments to do that while we continue. We will come back to you. Just bathe in the energy. Next, sharing.
Hi.
And to you, good day.
I hope I can express my thought in English, which is not my first language.
It's all right. You don't have to hope.
Okay. Ever since I was early teen, I've been really attracted to Caucasian people.
Yes.
And, and I started to develop this inferior feelings to them. You know, my mindset, you know, I am as intellectual as they are. And, you know, that's only my mindset. And I can't get rid of this feeling.
Yes.
And probably because not being able to use this language as much as I want to, maybe that puts me down. I really don't know.
All right. But you know how to use your heart. You know how to speak from your heart. You know what is true for you.
Right.
It is just as true for everyone else.
That's right.
Only when they speak from their heart anyway are they really being their true self. And on that level, you all know that you are saying the same thing. On that level, you all know you are the same one consciousness, the same one being. On that level, you all know you are equal. All the ideas of mentality and intellectuality, these are all different ways of expressing the self that you may choose to be in any given life. That is true. But where it counts, from your heart of hearts, you are all the same heart, beating the same rhythm, beating, 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 living, feeling, desiring, wanting love, giving love, wanting love, giving love. All the same, where it counts. This concept of inferiority simply comes from using yardsticks of measurement, which are in that sense artificial creations, which do not come from your center, which do not come from your heart, which do not really come from the true being that you are. And they, all of them, are just different ways of you expressing yourself, and you are just a different way they have of expressing themselves. You are all mirrors, looking at your own reflections in all the different ways that that reflection can shine. It is all you. You are they. There is no difference. Do you understand?
Yes.
How do you feel?
I feel better.
All right. You are a child of the infinite. What you have to say has worth. What you have to share has merit. What you have, what you want, what you desire, what you are excited and passionate about creating will have impact on those that know themselves. Those that don't know themselves may not hear it. They may say unkind things, but if they are not themselves, it is they who are missing your gift, your impact, your love. It is they who are deprived of your special treasure. But do not judge them, do not berate them, do not judge yourself. That is an unkind thing to do, and is not what the unconditional love of creation wants for you. Love yourself as unconditionally as the creation loves you in having created you. You deserve it, and you deserve nothing less. Do you understand?
Yes.
How do you feel?
A lot better.
All right. One moment. How are you doing? Are you releasing? What in this person's sharing was important to you? The whole entirety was timely for you. This person has done you a service.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that what this person is experiencing is something that is relevant for you?
I'm sorry, I don't get it. What?
Do you feel that what this person is feeling is similar to what you are feeling, has something for you to learn in seeing what this person is feeling? Do you feel connected in some way to this person feeling what she is feeling? Do you feel connected at the heart?
Yeah.
Do you feel that the heart connection is the important connection and that everything else is, in a sense, superficial?
Right.
Do you feel that?
Yes.
All right.
And
Yes.
one more question.
Yes.
Okay. Who is Eddie Hart? I don't know. This name popped out on my mind, and probably he is English. That's all I know. I thought it was one of my past lives, but I'm not sure.
In a sense, there is a connection, but it is also a symbol of a guide. Say the last name aloud again.
Hart.
Again.
Hart.
Again.
Hart.
Spell it.
Hearth.
And what does that spell? Do you see the heart energy in it? Do you see the warmth of the heart? The fire in your heart that is symbolized by that name, by that energy, by that vibration?
I see.
It is your guiding spirit, in a sense. Yes, you have had connections, and it is a guiding spirit.
Okay.
Does this help you?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? Will you go back to the amplification device?
I'm back.
How are you feeling?
Relieved.
Take a deep breath in and let it out. A deep breath in and let it out. A deep breath in and let it out. You have died and are reborn. Pleasant dreams to you this night. You will open up a new level and hear new things. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Next sharing.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Good to be with you again.
And you as well, for the first time.
Yeah. A marvelous piece of synchronicity is going on right now, where I just came back from Canyon de Chelly.
Oh, right.
Have you been there?
Not personally.
I mean, do you know where I'm talking about?
Yes.
I was there with Carol Haas, who you know, who's
Yes.
right behind me, and we decided to both put our names into at least one of us get to ask you about it.
I see. Good plan.
Well, we came up right behind each other, and she's right behind me, so I'm not sure what that's about. Anyhow, we had
It means your plan worked better than you thought.
Yeah. Much better. Anyhow, we were both down there, had an utterly phenomenal experience.
All right. Utterly phenomenal.
Yeah. It was extremely exciting. And we didn't have much time there, but the little
Didn't
time...
need much time there.
Didn't need much time, although my impulse is taking me right back out there again tomorrow.
All right. But that's a different time.
This is true. What I would like to know is...
Yes.
Well, first, what I experienced was...
The opening of the gate.
It was a wide open gateway. It felt like a very powerful seventh chakra sort of updraft
Yes.
that was happening there.
Yes.
It also felt to me that this was a point of inception of possibly like the original consciousness of one of our root races.
Yes, very good.
And
they still exist in that area. You are in communion with an aspect of their consciousness. Very good. It is connected very strongly to the Native American culture. It is not something that they talk about very often, but you found it.
Yeah, because I hadn't heard anything about it. And in fact, it seems to be shielded by the Navajos, and
yes.
that seems to be a strange irony that they are in possession of it.
In a sense, yes. But the only reason that they would seem to be in possession of it is because it is very rare that the frequency of anyone but their own kind would understand how to know that that gate is there.
Okay, I have a specific question about the
yes.
Navajos there.
Yes.
My impulse is to go back there and spend 2 or 3 days there, and I'd like to go down and sleep inside of it, close to the, I think it's called the spider's leg, I think, which is this very tall pinnacle. One question I have is about confirmation of my perception that starting at the pointed end of it's a V shape. It goes off in 2 directions, the canyon. And I feel a progression of the energy from the pointed end to the more outward end. Almost it's like a series of rites of passage or levels of initiation that end at the pinnacle.
All right. Take it as you feel it. That's what I am being instructed to say.
Okay. So you won't tell me anything about that?
I can.
Okay.
But they will.
Yep. Well,
However, are you sure you want me to play with him like that?
No.
All right. Are you ready for what they have to show you?
You mean right now, or when I get down
when you
the
get
clinic?
there?
Well, part of my
ready?
Part of my question to you, I'm answering your question, is...
It's not my question.
Oh.
It is a question I am passing on.
Okay. I am ready as long as I have a sense, which I'm hoping to get now from you or them. I was very aware of some powerful black medicine.
All right.
And there's a place where I have naively gone into some pretty outrageous situations, and I don't want to do it on this sort of level by myself in this canyon. So I did have an experience of what was possibly an omen, which is of a rattlesnake right outside the car in the dark when I did go down in the dark halfway down into the canyon and encountered different levels of my own fear internally.
Yes.
Transmuted them,
yes.
regained stasis,
all
and
right.
continued. But that was after passing a rattlesnake at the top that presented itself fairly ominously,
yes.
but then gently slithered away.
All right.
And that felt like the strategic...
all right. Very good. Very good. Just be ready for more.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Have a good time.
So is it safe then for me to go down there and...
I don't know.
Is it...
Depends on the you that goes down there.
Does it depend on my ability not to buy the, what could be quite powerful manifestations that may present themselves to me?
It depends on your ability to be afraid and use it and transform it in a positive way. It depends on your ability to allow yourself to know your own dark side and to blend it in a positive way.
So this is definitely a sort of rite of passage for me if I go ahead. Yeah.
They are willing, more than willing, to allow you to use that particular methodology as long as you're ready.
You say that in the most disturbing way.
I know. That's why I asked them if they were sure they wanted me to play with you in this way. Because it would get you going.
Yes.
It would start you off. It would give you a little taste of what's in store.
Yeah, right. Okay, well...
So that you can feel that you have begun the trip now.
Thank you. Things moving faster than I thought.
Yes.
Okay. I will definitely wear my boots.
Another good plan.
I would like to know also what my connection is with...
End of story.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next, Jerry.
Hi, old friend.
Well, well, what a surprise.
Yes, what a surprise.
Good day to you.
Good
one
day
who
to
follows, one who is behind.
Yes, really. Well, not always.
Yes, I know.
I wanted to ask you, when I first came into the canyon, because Daniel and I were there together,
Yes.
I felt almost like there were tangible beings that
Yes.
came up.
That is what I just said. There
Very
are still
angelic.
actually consciousnesses in
Yes,
that area.
layers and layers
Yes.
of consciousness up
Yes.
to the Navajo that are presently there.
Yes.
And I took the rattlesnake, which I saw when I stepped out of the car, as a warning because we were thinking of going back. It was closed, the park at the time, but they don't run people out of there. And I didn't feel right about going down into the energy. There's a very guardian medicine type, black medicine
Yes.
type energy at that entrance.
Each of you must decide
Yeah.
what level you're at and what you are ready for.
Well, I felt that it was it was snake-like, the energy, the black energy. And
In a sense.
I felt that I wasn't welcome there at that time, and I was comfortable with that. And I won't be able to go back with Daniel now. But
It is not that you are not welcome. It is simply that they read that you may not be prepared.
Right. What I wanted to know is, I felt such a tremendous emotional connection that I wondered have I lived there in another time, or did I have a connection, or was I just reading the energy of the place?
One moment.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to tell you something, and I have been allowed to soften it a little bit.
Go ahead, give me that best.
All right. Your attempt at such an initiation in another life ended in your death from the bite from the snake.
That's interesting, because I'm the one that saw it. I almost stepped on it getting out of the car.
Me telling you this in this way will actually work to soften any fear that you might have about this happening again.
Yeah, I don't fear it, actually.
All right.
Because the snake, when we acknowledged the snake, it crawled away, and it was a very small one. It was kind of an old echo, an ancient echo.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Now, one moment. Someone else butting in. Dolphin energy went with you and goes with you. In the background, off to the side, just sort of as a casual friend, can't be involved directly in the experience as you enter directly into the gate, but can go and cheer you on. Can go to a threshold, but not beyond. But is there with you, rooting for you. There's a double entendre in that phrase.
The root, yeah.
Yes.
You know, I don't fear it particularly. I'm not going back with Daniel, and I wanted to ask you another thing.
You are going back in another way.
Yes.
Whether you physically go there or not, yes.
Yeah, I imagine that I would, because I feel a great need to paint the place and to represent some of the beings that are there.
Yes. It will be one of the strongest paintings you will ever do, and in and of itself can be the beginning of a whole series of paintings that in and of themselves are actually, literally, gateways that actually contain the vibration of the gates.
Sacred sites. That's what I've been wanting to do.
Yes.
Oh, good.
It is appropriate and timely.
Oh, good. I wanted to ask you something about last year. Last year I went to Machu Picchu with a dear friend and with a tour. And remember once years ago you told me that in South America I had been an Indian in another life?
Yes.
And had traveled out of body extensively and all of that?
Yes.
And I made an emotional reaction. It was there, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Relax.
Okay.
Let it out. Let it out. Let it out. Feel. Feel. Have a good time. No more needs to be said at this moment.
About, I couldn't ask another little question about money.
No more needs to be said at this moment.
Okay, Bashar. Thank you very much.
Our unconditional love to you.
Thank you.
Next sharing.
Yahoo, Bashar.
And Shibai to you. Good day.
Good day. I need some assistance
Oh,
with
all right.
some balance in my life.
Balance.
Friday afternoon, I started crying at work with a lot of pain on my right side in my head, and they sent me home. On Thursday, I twisted my foot on the instep of my right foot, so I assumed that this had something to do with it. And then I thought it might be maybe a root canal, and I don't feel that is it because I've had all of the fillings removed and 2 caps, and I don't think that's it. I don't know where the pain is coming from. I left work in Santa Monica to go home in Burbank, and for 45 minutes I'm driving around Santa Monica crying, saying that I can't find my way home, I just want to go home. I ended up in Mandeville Canyon, it's a dead end, and I finally got on Sunset by the 405, and I didn't know if I went north or south, and a little voice inside had said, we live in the north. Once I was in the valley, I could find my way home. That was very scary. I realized that evening that person that was crying so afraid was my adolescent child, about 11 to 13. I've done a lot of work on little Karen from 1 on up to 10, and this is the first time my adolescent has popped out, so we've got some work to do.
All right. Very good.
In dealing with balance,
for you, the highest, quickest, and strongest recommendation we can make at this time to help bring more of this to the surface so you can integrate it is to avail yourself of some very deep body work. Very deep. Deep neuromuscular body work.
I had acupuncture yesterday and a Swedish massage this morning.
Deep.
Deep. Okay.
That will help begin to release all the children that you are.
Okay.
All the frozen children. You understand?
Yes, I do. Last night I asked for help from my guides, and I did a little channeling when I was able to go to Centerpoint, and they talked about balance and the integration that I'm doing. In the past, I've been dissecting it and going from one child to another, putting it away, and to do it from a whole viewpoint. I don't quite understand how to do that.
That is all right. It will come up in the appropriately timed fashion if you attract yourself to an individual who can help you through the deep body work.
Okay.
Deep. 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 Yes.
All right.
All right?
Thank you very much.
One moment. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, I have another question.
All right.
The pain.
Yes.
It's more severe than anything I've experienced in this life. It's more intense than a migraine.
Yes.
And I feel it in my right temple, my right ear, up to my teeth in the shape of a triangle. I don't know what to do to alleviate this pain. I tried to go into it and I couldn't.
One moment. Do you feel like crying?
No.
One moment. Tell this to the person that you attract who will help you with the deep body work. You may find that some of this will come out in emotional expression, such as crying, releasing in that sense. It will alleviate some of it. Not necessarily all of it, but a lot of it. Enough so that you can work with the rest of it.
Okay.
One moment. How is your mineralized intake?
I was thinking about that this morning, and yes, I need more.
All right. There is some electrolytic imbalance through depletion of your system. One moment. Potassium. eat it.
All right.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Shivai.
Shivai. And sharing.
Shivai, Bashar.
Shivai.
Some time ago, you told us a story about some gods who decided to see what it was like to forget who they were.
Yes.
And
Sound familiar?
yes, somehow it does. I was wondering if you could tell us another chapter about those gods regarding how they developed the imbalance between male and female energy.
In the reality that you recognize as your polarized physical reality, in creating the ability to express yourself as male, as female, and in the ability to forget your connection to all that is, the dichotomy, the polarization that you created between yourself totally and all that is, also created a polarization between all of the components that you had become. You allowed the concept of polarization to leak to every level, to cause everything to become suspended in a type of polarized magnetic field, to separate itself from everything, to become fragmented, to continue to fragment all the way down the line into every possible segregative particle that you could become. The idea, male and female polarization, is simply one level of this overall effect of polarization that has taken place throughout your entire reality, which is all based on the fundamental polarization of your total self from all that is. Still, it serves you. Serves you to see reflections of different aspects of yourself from each other to each other, to know that you contain the totality of what you see around you. It is one of the unique ways to experience yourself separate from yourself seemingly, and the coming together of the self, especially through the interaction of male and female in this way. Now let me tell you something specific about the manifestation physiologically of male and female and the coming together in what you would call the sexual act. Understand that in very real ways you are each, in physical terms, like batteries. And in this sense, in the coming together in what you would call the sexual act, it is no wonder that there is the creation of a liquid medium to lubricate your connections. For in this liquid medium of lubrication, there is electrical conductivity that allows you, in that electromagnetic conductivity, to actually rejoin and become one. And that is why you feel as one in the joining together in that physiological way. You actually become one electromagnetic field, exchanging electricity literally through the conductive fluid of the lubrication that allows you to perform the sexual act. That fluid in and of itself, therefore, to some degree, is an electromagnetic version of your consciousness, wherein you allow yourselves to blend and know yourself as male and female, one, all that is. Do you understand what we have said?
I think so. As we develop in fourth density, will that imbalance change?
Yes. You will find again that as you become more receptive, more crystalline to higher energy, these interactions will take on, over time, more also of an energy act, more of a balancing, and eventually, to some degree, more of what you would call androgyny. But again, you will be exchanging and interacting with each other like several circuits in a network of circuits until you pulse as one, eventually, as our civilization is doing, until you transform yourself from physicality to non-physicality and blend back into the oneness of spirit. You understand?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. recognize the strong gateway of your timing now in this, your October month. The end of things, the beginning of things, the cycle, the fulcrum, the moment of transition. We thank each and every one of you. We love each and every one of you. We will see you again. Good day. Let go. Thank you all very, very much for being here and supporting us in these sessions. Thanks.